We're looking at the information takeoff tool in Solibri Model Checker. We have a Vectorworks model loaded, just the architectural design, and if we wanted to do a takeoff, we would click the Create New Information Takeoff Definition icon. Here we can basically name our takeoff, so in this case we'll call this doors and windows, so that's what we'll start with. We only have architecture, so we don't need to specify the discipline, but we do need to specify which components or component types we're interested in. So in this case, we want to include doors, and we want to include windows. Okay. Once we have this specified, we can hit OK and hit the Takeoff All icon, and sort of immediately Solibri finds all of the doors and windows in the model. So in this case we only have one type of door and one type of window. If we wanted to then further isolate to a specific floor, we could, for instance, choose story 1 in the model tree and hit the equal sign. And by hitting the equal sign, we're setting that as our selection. So now we can come back, and instead of doing a takeoff all, we could say takeoff selected. And we can see now a total count for each of those component types, only for story 1. While count is nice to know, sometimes we need quantities or more detailed information. Let's show another example. I'm going to create a new takeoff, and in this case we're going to do walls only. So we will remove any as the component type, and in this case we want to just look at walls again. Hit OK. We already have our takeoff selected chosen. If I select that, we're still only looking at story 1 or level 1, and we have a total count here of 82 walls. So we can see actually if we click on any component or any wall in the model, we have all this information on the bottom left, things like quantities and location information. We may want to include quantities. So if we wanted to include length in our takeoff, we could right-click in our information takeoff window and add a new column. These radio buttons correspond to the tabs of information in the info window in the bottom left, and so if we wanted to, we could say we want to include in our takeoff a quantity, and the quantity we're interested in is a length. Hit OK. Now if we run that takeoff selected again, it'll give us our total length calculation for walls. At any point we can come back into our takeoff settings, so we can come back to the settings and we can add additional components. So let's say we want to include now suspended ceilings. So I'm going to choose suspended ceilings, hit OK, and actually instead of length in this case we want to change this to area. So let's go ahead and right click again on the length column, say edit column, and instead of length we're going to now do an area calculation. So I'm going to choose area, hit OK, and if I again hit takeoff selected, we'll now see our suspended ceilings and walls, a total count and total area for both. Lastly, we can report these out. So you can see from this drop down we have both our doors and windows takeoff and our walls, and actually we can rename this to include ceilings. And OK. Let's go ahead and rerun the takeoff. As I said, we can click the report icon. We can generate just a plain Excel report. You can actually create templates as well if you would like some header information or additional information, but at any point we can report out directly to a standard Excel file.